Okay, so hi and welcome to today's session on the EU transition bursary and what to expect when arriving to the UK post-Brexit. And my name is Michaela Green. I'm an international officer for Europe here at the University of Derby, and I've got a very special person here with me. Would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, I would love to. Hello, everyone. So I'm Barbara. I am from the Czech Republic. I see we have few attendees from the Czech Republic, so ahoy. And I was exactly in the same position as you 3 years ago. That means I have just recently graduated from the digital marketing course. So I'm really looking forward to tell you. And yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And I think last time we presented together, Barbara, you were talking in Czech. So
Yes.
at least now I'll know exactly when you're finishing.
Yes.
Super. So thank you everyone for joining us. Obviously we've got a variety of people listening to this webinar. So we're going to start off by sharing some information about Derby, the University of Derby itself. Obviously Barbara is a recent graduate and I joined the university from Sweden 15 years ago now. So I'm an older graduate. But we can both truly empathize with what you're going through, with having been in the same boat. And also we will tell you more about our fantastic EU transition bursary and how you become eligible for it. What's changed since 1st of January 2021 in terms of starting a university in England in particular, and at the University of Derby. Applying to the university, applying for your visa, and some further resources before we continue on with a Q&A, at least for those that are listening in today. And also, firstly, we would also like to say that we hope that you're keeping safe and well wherever you are. And we are very much looking forward to meeting the new students at the University of Derby this September. We are aiming to begin our studies and teaching as normal on campus with obviously bearing in mind any government restrictions, including the sort of blended applied learning model that we've been doing up until now. So there will be some online content, but we will also be looking forward to welcoming you on site, using our facilities and having meetings and making the most out of student life, which we would truly like to share with you. So if you've got any questions about this, please don't hesitate to contact us either during this session or afterwards. So we're going to start just by pinpointing where is Derby, because me and Barbara have found our way to Derby and we hope that you will too. And Derby is a very centrally located place in the UK, in England. It's right in the middle there, you can see on the map, very close to cities like Birmingham and Nottingham, and only 90 minutes by train from London. It's so connected, especially by train, due to the industrial heritage of Derby. So it's super easy to get to, even to Wales, to Cardiff, to Edinburgh in Scotland. And if you wanted to get out and about in the Peak District, we are just located on the edge of the Peak District National Park, which was recently voted the 4th best national park in Europe by TripAdvisor. I think that's a massive thing, isn't it? So definitely, if you're into your walking, hiking, mountain biking, parasailing, sailing in any shape or form, horse riding, there's quite a lot of opportunities out in the peaks. But yeah, I think I would love for Barbara to chip in here a little bit, especially with regards to your, your journey coming, arriving to the UK in the first place.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree with you, Michaela, because I think Derby has the best possible location as it is really in the middle of everything. And I think location was one of the things that I was really excited about, as I knew it will give me different types of options for traveling. airports, etc. So I think it's super easy to get to Derby, as you can choose from so many different airports, as you just said, East Midlands, Birmingham, Manchester, or even London. So I remember me going home to the Czech Republic for only 4 days, as taking the bus to East Midlands and flying for an hour and 30 minutes. So the whole journey took me about 4 hours max, which was very quick. And I have also done recently a bit of traveling around the UK, because I'm all done with my degree. So I have visited places like Liverpool, Manchester, London, or 2 weeks ago, I was even down south Brighton. And all of that was possible because Derby is located in the middle of everything. So I think the location is really great.
That's great, absolutely. And also to give everyone a bit of an idea of the size of Derby, we've got around 250,000 people, and the university is a really good size too, around 18,000 on-campus students. So in that sort of respect, you can really tell or imagine what a nice student vibe the city has got. And in terms of accessing international food and things, that tends to be quite good as well. There's lots of supermarkets that sell international food. There's a Chinese supermarket too, so you can get lots of Asian type food there, Polish supermarkets. And me being Swedish, I do access the local IKEAs. So there's definitely a fair bit. And obviously you've got online deliveries like Ocado and various types of others. So not a problem at all. And in terms of, again, the city and the city life, we are home to over 1,700 international students. So it's making it a really welcome and friendly location too. There's a range of nationalities, which I think is really good in terms of mixing. And Derby has actually got 14 parks, and it's quite a nice green place. So in the top right corner, you can see Markeaton Park. Markeaton Park is located very close to our Kedleston Road campus, which is the main campus. We also have one of 6 cycling velodromes in the UK, and therefore Team GB cycling team does do a lot of training there. We have Derby County Football Club led by Wayne Rooney. It's going okay. We'll see. We'll see if they can bump it up a little bit more in the leagues. And then, of course, we have a varied, modern, traditional, and also, different types of things that you can get out and about doing. We're home to Rolls-Royce, to Toyota, which is just outside of Derby, and also Bombardier. So a lot of that industrial trains, planes, cars heritage. Barbara, do you want to share a little bit about Derby too, having lived there for a few years now?
Yeah, I would love to. So I personally love Derby. It's not too big, but it's not too small. And there are so many great things you can do. So there is literally a little bit of everything. So many amazing places and lovely parks, as Michaela mentioned. And the city center is great, so you can do a lot of shopping, or there are so many places to eat, drink, party, whatever you like. So I think that's great. And maybe if I can mention here the cost of living, because that is such an important thing for most of the students. And as an international student living abroad, we all need to be ready and aware of the cost and prices. So I have to say that Derby is very cheap comparing to other cities such as London. So looking at it from my point of view, the biggest amount is obviously for your rent, which is around 300 to 400 pounds per month, really depending on what type of accommodation you choose. And the second biggest amount of your monthly budget is definitely food and grocery. So that can be around 100 or 200 pounds. Again, this really depends on what you buy. And you need to also count things like going out spending, clothes shopping, or even your gym memberships. I would also like to say that the unibuses, which take you everywhere in Derby, are free, which is great. So generally speaking, I think you should squeeze between 700 to 800 pounds per month, which is, I think, great. So you can, another important thing is that you can find a job very, very easily now, especially after the pandemic. And not only in hospitality, but the university offers so many different placements, so you can get a job while you're studying. So I had a job in marketing, which was amazing. And then, yeah, I think Derby is very cheap comparing to London, because when I went there for a trip, everything was like double price. So yeah, I think things are affordable here, and finding a job is very easy at the moment. So just this on this section, Michaela, back to you.
Oh, that was a brilliant summary, actually, Barbara, because I think, like you say, cost of living, employability, all of that will be of concern to our students. And I thought while
Yeah.
you were talking about the Unibus, that I should put this slide on, because you can sort of get a bit of a feeling of Derby on this slide. And so the university bus service is completely free. So saving a lot of transport, that's something that you will do. And also it's really easy to walk around the city, isn't it, Barbara?
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, I love the size, so I can walk anywhere I want. So from my house, it's like 15 minutes to the main campus walking, and then 10 minutes to the city center, which is great.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So here you can see the main campus that Barbara mentioned, Kedleston Road, and Markeaton Street, Markeaton Park just being right next to it. And then the other buildings that you can see scattered around Markeaton Street, for example, being the Art and Design and Journalism, Media, STEM Centre, so the engineering site. That's what you would be studying around there. And then Britannia Mill, for example, is right next to it, where we have our fine art studios, interior design, illustration, some of our art therapy courses and counselling, etc., a little bit scattered around. And then the Derby Law School, which is a bit more centrally located in the city centre. And that's actually very close to the Derby Law School, is where we are or will be building the new business school. So that will be hopefully finished in 2024. So very exciting times ahead.
And very same.
And speaking of the business school, and obviously what we have at Derby is four. We have four different colleges. So one of them is the Business Law and Social Sciences, where we have the Derby Business School. And we have our Art, Humanities and Education College. We have the College of Science and Engineering, and then the College of Health and Social Care, Psychology, and I think, yes, that's it. So there's so many different courses in these. We have courses ranging from foundation level up to PhD, and also short courses, professional courses. But I think, Barbara, you've been studying in the business school, haven't you?
Yes, so as mentioned, I've just graduated the digital marketing course, which was part of the Derby Business School. And I think marketing and other business courses are very well ranked. So that speaks for itself, really. I was really amazed by the different types of facilities and also learning and teaching approach. Yeah, and I think the Derby Business Schools and the marketing course really got me ready for my career.
That's amazing. And, you know, that will tie very well into this slide, which is a bit more about your journey.
Yes, so this is my journey. My University of Derby journey has been absolutely incredible. So I have applied through the agency in the Czech Republic, which was extremely helpful. They helped me with everything in terms of choosing the right university for me, and then everything related to applying. So it all started with me coming to Derby for an open day to get to know the university and see the city. So this really helped me, as when you come to see everything in person, you can really feel the energy. And of course, now with the pandemic, it's hard to travel. So I would definitely recommend watching different types of videos or even attending the Open Day Live, which is happening on the 3rd of July. So all of that would really help you to make sure this is the right decision, and you would be way more excited to come to Derby. And I would also like to say, what is it like to being an international student at the University of Derby? This really feels like my home now after 3 years. And I think great thing about Derby is it made me feel so welcomed, and I felt like part of the community after few days. It was really amazing. And I have experienced here everything I wished for. I have gained wonderful friends for life, which they are from all over the world, which is amazing. And I have also got a huge amount of knowledge and skills, both professional, because I had so many different placements and internships, but also academic skills, which amazingly links to my career. And very big benefit for every single international student. You really get to improve your English. So that's really, really amazing thing when coming to study abroad. And I have also gained confidence and much more. So I would personally recommend the University of Derby for so many different reasons, but one of the main ones is that you can really grow here, as there are so many different opportunities. So I know it feels scary and everything, but it's really worth it. So don't be scared and really enjoy this UK university experience.
I couldn't agree more. Perfect. That was a really good way of, of ending that part of the presentation. And what we will do now is that we will carry on with telling you more about the EU transition bursary, obviously, that we have on the slide, and what's changed since the 1st of January and sort of post-Brexit involved issues then. So first of all, if you're hoping to join us soon this September, if you already are an applicant, or if you're yet to apply, we have this amazing EU transition bursary that is actually an automatically assessed one. So as long as you are a resident in Europe, then you will be automatically assessed for this bursary. So you must not qualify for home fee status, and you have to be a lawful resident in one of the EU member states, so except the Republic of Ireland. So Irish citizens have a different agreement with the UK. The bursary is actually financial support of £4,500 towards the tuition fees. So that means that this will bring your annual tuition fees down. So if you're a bachelor degree student, that would bring it down to £9,545. And if you are a master's level student, then you might bring it down to around 10,200, depending on which course you're going on to. But this is an annual contribution. So for any bachelor students, it will be up to 3 years of your study. And it will also be if you're coming on to do a top-up degree with us, or if you're coming directly into second year. It will be automatically assessed. Like I said, it will show on your CAS letter, and I will talk more about CAS letters in just a second. And this is a bursary that is valid either for someone starting in September 2021 or February 2022. So you can't defer it to September 2022, but it's available for these two intakes. You can find out more information on our website if you'd like to check out more on the terms and conditions. So lots of exciting things have happened since 1st of January 2021, and we're here to tell you more about that. So firstly, the thing that we would like to cover is the tuition fees. So now students can be sort of put into different categories. So you might be qualified either as a UK home fee status payer or an international fee status payer. So those are the two main categories. Irish citizens, as I said, have a different agreement. And then there's also where, for those students that are UK nationals or dual nationals, you would also have another category there. Then we have students that might have pre-settled or settled status, and they would fall under the EU settlement scheme, which in turn allows them to gain access to the UK home fees. In order to prove that you have the settlement scheme, the university will ask you to provide the share code that you can access, and then we can make any adjustments if that is the case. If you have already applied, then you might be very familiar with the next part of this slide. However, if you are yet to apply, I would recommend that you start off by finding a course that you like on derby.ac.uk/study. So this will then allow you to search for our whole range of courses, over 300. So there's quite a bit of choice. I think what Barbara will probably also agree on is that the UK offers an amazing amount of choice in terms of study and subject areas.
Absolutely. So I was looking for a digital marketing course because digital was something I really wanted to focus on, and this course was not available in the Czech Republic whatsoever. So I was very, very pleased to see that something like digital marketing is offered by the University of Derby, and the range of different types of courses are incredible. You can study whatever you love. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't, exactly the same position here. And I applied for events management, which was something that Sweden didn't offer at the time. So absolutely, I completely agree. And one of our niche subjects is football journalism, and I know that's also something that you might not find everywhere.
That's
So
pretty cool.
just an example. But what you will find on each of these course pages is the specific entry requirements. We also have a dedicated page for our European students. So if you go to derby.ac.uk/Europe, you will be able to find the entry requirements for a lot of our countries there. If you can't find the entry requirements for your country, then do get in contact with us and we will help you out. So when you apply for a course, you will be asked to submit a variety of documents. One of them is the personal statement, which is really quite nice and special. Not something that all countries will ask for, but what it gives you is the opportunity to talk about you and to give us more of an insight into what you're about, your ambitions, and how you are preparing yourself for studies at higher education. And it's almost in addition to your grades and everything else, and it will give you that extra edge, because when you've taken now your final exams and all of that, you might end up with the same grade as so many of your classmates. So what actually sets you apart from them? That's what the university will ask, and that's what the personal statement can give. So that's one of them. And then an academic reference letter. So that's often someone that knows you quite well, an English teacher, for example. Your diploma, your qualification, your national curriculum qualification, or your bachelor degree if you were applying for a master's degree, the transcripts, evidence of English language. So again, this could very much depend on where you're studying and what you're doing. So for a lot of countries in Europe, we actually do accept the English grade on the national curriculum. But again, that will be on our website. You will be able to see that on our website. We will ask for a copy of your passport photo page. And then some courses will have something extra, which could be a portfolio. Usually it's a digital portfolio. It could be a short essay, which you would have to do for a course like journalism, or also the certificate of good conduct, which is normally obtained by a police station, and it will show criminal convictions and things like that. That would be something that courses where you would come into contact with under 18s or vulnerable people will be something that we would look for. You will then submit your application online via the course page or via UCAS. So that is if you're looking to start this September 2022. The admissions processing times can vary depending on what time of year it is, and if they're dealing with a lot of applications at the same time. It's generally between 1 to 4 weeks that you hear back, but that's why I'm here, and that's why my colleagues in similar positions are there, so that you can contact us if you've got any questions or if you're worried about your application. So we're very happy to help at all times. Once an application is successful, then it's very important that you accept your offer. So you might have something like a conditional offer, which is then based on maybe finishing your diploma or obtaining an English language evidence. And that is then, your first step. What you would then do is say, yes, I would like to accept my offer. What then that provides you with is the opportunity to book accommodation or to receive sort of more detailed information from the university in order to know what to do next. After that, and only once your application has got to the unconditional offer stage, is that when you pay your deposit. So there are some exemptions to students that don't have to pay the deposit, and again, that will show on your offer letter or on the link that takes you from your offer letter. Then you would complete the CAS request form, which is on our website. So a CAS is the confirmation of acceptance for studies, and that's something that we need in order to provide you then with evidence that goes onto your visa application. So the CAS will contain details about your course and your personal details. It will contain information about the fees and any scholarships that you have, the EU transition bursary, for example, anything else. But check this very carefully when you receive it as well. Let us know, make sure that everything is correct. We will help you through that. Once you have got through that stage and you have your CAS, you've paid your deposit, you will be starting with the visa application process. And if you're applying through an agent, they might also help you through some of these stages. So please note that this information is applicable as long as you do not hold the pre-settled status as part of the EU settlement scheme. So the documents that you will be required to have when you apply is your CAS number, passport. Have your passport next to you because it will verify your identity when you do your visa application. You will need your original certificates as listed on your CAS, so that will also verify that the things are the same. Proof of your English language ability, if applicable, again, that will be stated on your CAS, and possible consent if you're under the age of 18 at the point of applying. So once your CAS has been obtained, you will then use the Android iPhone app in order to carry out and to include all these documents. So it's called UK Immigration ID Check, and that's available on both Android and iPhone from the app stores. So that's when it's good to have all of these documents next to you so that you can quickly go through that visa application. You will receive the decision as a written notification by email, and then you can use the View and Prove service to check status and share as evidence. Okay, so the application fees that are involved are, there's a visa application fee at £348. There is an immigration health surcharge. So this is £470 per year, depending on how many years you're coming to study. So if you're coming for a 3-year course, then that will be per year at the application stage. If it's only for the top-up year, then that's the only fee you will pay, or if it's the master degree. With regards to working, don't know how many of you have heard about the graduate route, but for any European students that are joining universities in the UK from this September onwards, they will be eligible to apply for the graduate route. So that is something that you will be able to access at the point of finishing your studies. So once you have got to the end, you will then be able to talk to our visa officer, and the graduate route will allow you to look for work and work on for up to 2 years after you have finished your degree. However, during your studies on a student visa, you would be able to study up to 20 hours per week. So this is if you're a full-time student visa holder, not on a short-term study visa, for example, when you would come to do an exchange program. So this is the 20 hours of work are the same for undergraduate and postgraduate studies. However, there are some anomalies, which is largely due to the summer holidays and the Easter holidays, etc. So undergraduate students would have very specific holiday periods when they can work full-time, so they're not restricted to 20 hours. However, the postgraduate taught, there is technically no holidays in the summer because that's when you're meant to be doing your dissertation. So the holidays that are dedicated are the ones over the Christmas and Easter periods. So in December, January time, as well as in around March, April time. We have got some further resources available for you. So please do make a note of these, take a screenshot so that you'll be able to check them out later. So one of them is for UKISA, the UK Council for International Student Affairs, which is a very, very good website in general in order to have a look at maybe preparations before you're arriving to the UK, or it can be a variety of immigration and visa questions. They have a really good FAQ section on there. Gov.uk, which is the official government website. So there is a specific guide for European students that they have been putting together. Student Finance England FAQs as well, for those that might be looking at what sort of other opportunities there are in terms of financing, especially if you're an Irish citizen watching this or someone with pre-settled status. We also have our very own dedicated visa pages, so you can have a look on there if you're looking for some more information.